Hello out there. Johnny here again. You know what I mean? This video is about what I told the staff, some of the staff, what I was gonna do if I was ever a free man for any period of time. I'm exposing the psych ward. I'm exposing you guys in more detail than I have in previous videos. I kind of expose it a little bit, but not like this. I'm exposing you guys the con of the psych ward. They're lucky I didn't walk up to some of their patients and say, you don't have a mental illness, there's nothing wrong with you, you're being conned. They're lucky, and they know it. I'm not kidding. I could have exposed so much. Some of the ones that were, some of the patients already knew the con. They were held hostage against their will, like me. They didn't go involuntarily, so they already knew the con. And we were talking about it. I'm like, we just gotta survive this, this con, the best we can in this hostage situation. And we did. It was tough, but anyways, I'm very experienced in this arena. You know what I mean? It's like my seventh time. But this is different. This was involuntarily. I was forced there. This is the first time I was forced there. Targeted by police, forced there. Not voluntarily. Not for another reason like other times. This was different. I'm like, man. And I was completely sober the whole time. So it was a trip. I'm like, oh man, this is the biggest evil con I've ever witnessed. I'm not kidding. Any normal human that has no mental illness that goes into a psych ward, 2 weeks later, they will be convinced they have a mental illness. So be careful. If you go in without a mental illness, they'll make sure you have a mental illness within 2 weeks. I'm not kidding. That's how evil it is to put you on meds for Big Pharma. The evil Big Pharma. It's evil. It is. It's like Satan's wheelhouse. I'm in Satan's wheelhouse right now. And I'm being held hostage. This ain't good. At least in jail, they know, they hate you. They don't want to, you know what I mean? But in the psych ward, it's different. It's deceptive. They're like, we care about you. We want you to live. We want you to, conquer the world and enjoy life and be positive. At least in jail, it's like, we hate you. Go to your bunk. We hate you. Lock up. We hate you. Jail is more honest. That's why I like jail. In the psych ward, it's not honest. That's why it's more evil. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we love you. We love you. We care about you. We want you to live. No, we want to dope you up. We want to dope you up beyond belief. We want to dope you up until you're tired. You're just tired every day. Oh, he's getting better. Look how tired he is from the meds. Yeah, well, I've already been through that. I'm like, nope. Been through this many times from you evil people. I'm like, I told him, I'm like, I saw a ton of professionals throughout my life to test this. Even outside psych wards, I've tested this. Because I've been called crazy my whole life. My whole life I've been called crazy. Just for existing. He's crazy. He's just talking to a camera. Look how crazy he is. He's holding a blanket. Look how crazy I am. I'm holding a blanket. It's like nonstop. Throughout my whole life, I'm like, this is a con. You know what I'm saying? And I'm exposing every little thing. He's crazy. But I realized this when I was a kid. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. They're calling me crazy. What? This isn't right. There's something wrong here. I'm just reading a book. Why they call me crazy? You know what I'm saying? But I'm getting used to it. It's the enemy. It's the enemy's tactic. They call you crazy. And tell the world that you're crazy. Slander you to the world that you're crazy. When you're just reading a book. You know what I mean? I'm like, why are they afraid of me? But but not afraid of me. You know what I mean? That's what I was doing, like, the designated examiner, like 2 days in, came. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you want to come in. I don't know if you want to sit down. I'm so dangerous. I'm so dangerous. Are you sure you want to sit down next to me? I'm so dangerous. He's like, yeah, I'm sure. I'm like, are you sure? You know, you sure you're not going to run for the hills? That's how dangerous they're, you know? But yeah. He tried to commit me, too, which I already knew. I already predicted it. Him and the psychologist tried to commit me. A bought-off judge committed me. I just sat there sober. I'm like, this will be a kangaroo court, and it was. You know, so. But it later got terminated because some of the staff were like, this guy's not crazy at all. He wants to be here for 40 years. He doesn't care about being held here. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, here, there, what's the difference? You know what I mean? Out there, I'm being targeted by 20 police every day. It's much better up here in the psych ward. He's like, he likes it up here. It's safer. I'm like, it is safer. It is safer up here. This is one of the shirts I wore. I am here. This is one of the shirts I wore in the psych ward. They always want to know where I am. I'm like, I'm here. I'm not causing any trouble. I'm on the 5th floor of high prison. I'm not causing any trouble. Just make sure the cops don't come through that door. Thank you. They're like, it's protected. But some of the nurses are, and I confirm this, even though they called me crazy for saying this. There's a couple nurses that are new. They're actually new. But before that, I'm like, what's their profession before that? Them becoming a nurse. They look just like cops. I mean, they barely knew the basics of meds. You know, I tested them. I'm like, yeah. And then by the end, one of them handed me off to the police that are actually dressed up as police. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's convenient. You know what I mean? So that's when I confirmed that. So the nurse field and the cop field are very similar. It's just like without weapons, you know. So that's not a con of the psych ward. The good old boys are infiltrated in there as well. It's no joke. Been confirmed. I'm like, they're everywhere. Literally, they're everywhere. They could be, you know, just out there right now. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, we already knew that. So, the designated examiner's like, how could you tell the FBI's following you? I'm like, I'm not even going to go into it. I'm in a psych ward. I don't want to be called crazy anymore. I'm just going to say you guys are obvious, all right? That's all I'm going to say. When you guys are parked right outside the building, the apartment building, like parked outside every day, and I know you're not part of the building. I know you're not a tenant. It's pretty obvious, okay? You guys aren't very stealthy. I'm talking to an expert stealth guy here. I'm like, you guys suck at being stealth. I should train the FBI. I'm like, you guys suck. Might as well be followed by a 2-year-old, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, enough about that. But yeah, this is about the con of the psych wards. So some of you already figured this out, but a lot of people are afraid of being labeled, you know. But like, if you're having a bad day, think twice about seeing a psychiatrist or seeing a psychologist. You may not have a mental illness, but after you see the psychiatrist, be careful. They may give you mental illness you don't have just for having a bad day. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful. It's evil, you know. They're pressed. They're part of the good old boy system. They're pressed to put you in their psych ward to make money off you. You know what I mean? They're connected with the police too. You know, the psych ward's part of the 24/7 open all the time system, like the jail is, the 24/7 open buildings. You know what I'm saying? They're like, we'll leave the light on for you. They're always open, you know? I could go to the jail right now. There's There's people in there sleeping. I was just there. I go to the psych ward right now. There's people held hostage in there. It's 24/7 business. You know what I mean? And then and then the guards that drive around this town that want to put you in those places. You know what I mean? It's evil. It is. That's why they hate me, because I know it. Like, it doesn't matter that I know it. They still lock me up anyways. You know what I mean? Shut me up. But which worked. I was excommunicado for a few months. Excommunicado. The only way to talk to me was to send a letter through the roof, like Archangel did, to the jail cell, through the roof. That's the only way to talk to me. Which was alright, getting a break from the world, They were driving me nuts, you know what I mean? The evil, I will say this. And the inmates agree with me, and they confirmed it. This is the most evil county in the United States. It's more evil than I thought. It is. That's what I said before I got released. I'm like, this is more evil than I can comprehend. And they're like, yep. Most of the inmates were set up like me. They were set up like me. Some of them were beat to a bloody pulp, for trying to expose it. So I'm like, crap. Are they going to do that to me? Maybe. What's left? Psych ward didn't work. Jail didn't work. What's left besides Rodney Kinging me or Victor Perezing me? There's nothing else left, you know what I mean? So I gotta be careful. But I said I'd expose a psych ward, and that's what I'm doing. But there's a lot of things to expose. It's very evil, So, and the wearing you down is the evil part. You know what I mean? They hold you forever in a psych ward until you're taking meds. They're like, oh, how you feeling? I know this is a depressing place. How's your depression? You see how that they set you up? Oh, I know you're having anxiety about being in this place. And I'm like, no, I'm not. That's what I said. I'm like, I'm not afraid of this place. They're like, I'm like, no. Anxiety 0, depression 0. What's next? What's next on the docket? And they're like, oh, what? We don't know what to do with this guy. What? I'm like, I was pretty much raised in a psych ward. Like I built a psych ward with these hands. You know what I mean? Like I made the con of the psych ward myself. That's how much experience I have. I even grew up around psychopaths. Call me crazy every day. Treat me as crazy. I'm used to this. Even in jail, I'm used to this, being treated this way in jail. Go to your room or lock up in your jail cell. I've dealt with that my whole life. You know what I mean? I'm very trained for this. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a punishment. It does suck though. It does suck. Same food every day, pretty much. It sucks. But yeah, that's part of the evil, is like they're wearing you down day after day in a hostage situation, and they're hitting you with a new agenda every day, a new person to try to convince you you're crazy every day. They use the old diagnosis that's on their record from way back in the day that I confirmed with another doctor that I don't have. A few years ago, we confirmed it. There's nothing. There's nothing. You know what I mean? He's like, we've prescribed all these meds to you. We've done all these things for you. We don't know what, there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like, I know, but everyone keeps calling me crazy. You know what I mean? It's evil. I'm telling you. That's why be careful before you see a professional or believe anybody about when they call you crazy or use other professional words to call you crazy, they're professional terms. Be careful. You know what I mean? You can walk in there normal, just normal, test it. Check yourself in, do a test. Check yourself in, just pretend. You know what I mean? Just pretend. Go in there. You'll have, they'll diagnose you with something. They will. Just pretend that, oh yeah, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Just pretend, and they will diagnose you with something. Guaranteed. Yeah. I could probably move to a different state right now. Go to a professional that's never seen me. Doesn't know any of my record. Walk in there and be like, oh yeah, just fool them. Be like, oh yeah, I heard this voice over here. I heard this voice over here. This voice over here. They will diagnose me with a mental illness I don't have. Guaranteed. It's evil, But anyways, it's a non-stop thing. It's a non-stop thing. And they never, I can always expect them to keep using this tactic. Always. Because I know they're evil. I know they're ungodly. You know what I mean? That's what I said in the Psych ward. I'm like, don't take counsel from the ungodly. Like it says in Psalm 1. And that's what I did. I'm not taking counsel from the ungodly. Anyone that's trying to shove psych meds, force them down your throat, or they won't let you leave, is evil. Like, we won't let you leave unless you're taking psych med. That's evil. Yep. Pure evil. So, oh yeah, and then they manipulate. Oh, the judge will be easier on you if you're taking psych med. How evil is that? And they weren't easier on me. I already knew they weren't. They would commit me either way. I'd rather be committed sober. You know what I mean? And that's what I was willing, that's what I was going to do. I was going to go to their second psych ward, 20 miles north in Blackfoot. Again, I've been there in the past. I was forged there in the suffering. That's my home. You know what I mean? I was going to go there sober, completely sober this time, and embarrass the whole thing. And they knew it. They're like, terminate his commitment order. I'm like, I'll go there. I'll expose the whole thing to the whole way as I'm exposing it in high prison. Yep. Long time coming. I'll shoot hoops outside, have a good time with the fellow patients that some of them don't have a mental illness. They're just held hostage and are depressed. They're being held hostage against their will. Drink some coffee. Mess with the professionals there. You know what I mean? It's like, no, this guy will expose it just by being himself. I'm like, yeah, I will. I'm more aware and more psychologist aware. I'm more aware than the psychologist. And I don't lie under oath against patients like the psychologist. I have more honor than the psychologist. I knew they would lie under oath to commit me. I have more honor than they do. I wouldn't do that to a patient. And another patient was talking to me about that. They're like, they lied under oath to commit me. I'm like, I know. It's evil. So, if they want you out of the way, that's what they do. The good old boys, they get you out of the way. They put you in places where they throw away humans, whether it's the psych ward or maximum security jail, which is which is what they're doing to me, like in a row. But I skipped this, the one throwaway human place, this main psych ward. But yeah, I've been called crazy my whole life. I don't care. At this point, call me crazy wherever. Call me crazy here. I don't care. I'm not even in a psych ward. Call me crazy. It's normal. That's part of my training. Yep. To be called crazy so much that I'm not even fazed by it. Yep. Insane training. Yep. Been called crazy since I was a kid. Look how old I am now. I'm like, you guys are just embarrassing yourselves. I'm like, you good old boys should probably hang yourselves by now. It's over for you. That's a mean thing to say, but it'd be the smart thing to do for them at this point. Because I'm going to expose it. This is just a start. You know what I'm saying? They thought I'd be locked up still, like their plan was. God showed mercy. I have a little reprieve to expose it for a little bit before I'm locked up again. You know what I'm saying? That's how dangerous I am without weapons. They want to lock me up. That's how dangerous I am with words and exposing them. Still no weapons. Yep, they're scared. But we're the good old boy system. No one's ever beaten the establishment. No one. I know that. But I'm trying to anyways. I got nothing to lose. You know what I mean? It's a machine. The establishment is a brutal machine, and I know that. And they're training me. In Auschwitz, I just came from, they're training me to be an even more freak of nature. They're creating an even meaner freak of nature. You know what I mean? By trying to destroy me. I don't even know it. Like, I've never been this cold and mean. I can thank maximum jail for that. Speaking of maximum jail, there's some mean inmates in there. I'm like, dude, they put me in the area of people that are, that actually